Hello and welcome. Today's question is, what is the Gemini logo at the bottom of my Google Docs? Yeah, okay, this is another new Gemini thing. Let me switch over to Docs and show you. So now this is a Google Doc. This is a state of AI report from nonprofits that I've used in a couple of other videos. I just needed some data to show you what this is. So now if I just go into really any doc now, you can see at the bottom here, there's just this Gemini logo that wasn't there before. Like this has only been here for maybe a week and a half-ish, for me at least. And if I hover over it, then it opens up this, they call it a bottom bar, but it's a beta feature right now. So it's really just an extension or a different view. If I click the Ask Gemini over here, and it has kind of the sidebar, this is a different view of it. But it gives me a couple of options in here. So let me just make a new tab. I'll start with that. All right, so if I go in here, document tabs, and I add a tab, the bottom bar comes up immediately. And do a couple of things in here. If I click on the plus, I can open up my Google Drive, and it'll pop up a new window. And I'm not going to open my drive because we have client data and other stuff in here. But if you use Google Drive, it'll pop up your drive, and then you can pick another document. And if you have something, you can match the format. This can be useful if you're doing, it's like if you have a project and all the project documents have a consistent look. If you're doing something on the company letterhead, any kind of company document, and you need a consistent look, you do like a meeting every week or every 2 weeks, every time period, and your meeting write-up looks the same way every week. Like anything where you need a consistent format, you can just have your internal template created, or your internal document from last week, or last month, last whatever, and select that, and then just match the format. Maybe you don't have one of those, and if you just click on templates, this will bring up the built-in Google templates for different things. So you have blog post, you have campaign brief, contacts. You can look through these if they're interesting. And this is more if you don't have internal versions of these templates. These are just the default Google versions. Meeting notes actually opens your calendar, and then it can link to something in there. Email draft, it really brings up an email draft. And then more will bring up the building blocks. And for this, you can just go through. There's a bunch of different stuff in here. A lot of it is similar to some of the other buttons in there. Like there's meeting notes, calendar, and email draft, task tracker. There's a bunch of stuff in here. They're basically different templates to get you started. That might be useful. And I mean, I don't know. I don't find that terribly useful, but like I know that if before they had this bottom bar here, I could just go into insert and building blocks. If I go to view more, like it's the same thing right here. Now, maybe you don't know that's there, so it's useful to just have it right here. But if you do know that that's there, then so for me, this just kind of takes up space. But that's what you can do with a new document. And let me go back to the other tab. So now if I have an existing doc and I have, stuff in here, I have, paragraphs here and numbered lists and bulleted lists and other things, I can highlight something. So let me highlight this executive summary piece. And then if I mouse over this again, I can add sources. So one thing that I think is pretty valuable is if I come in here and I add from Drive, you can add a reference document. So let me add something. Okay, so I added a writing style guide, and this is for Bumblescape, which is one of our just demo companies. And what I can do is if I have a writing style guide, and what that is, if you don't know, is you just basically capture the way that you write. So if a lot of times people use whichever tool, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever, and they'll bring up a piece of writing and they'll say like, write this in a professional tone, write this make it funny, make it this, make it something, and they won't really give it any context of what that means to them. So what we usually recommend people do is have some kind of starting point, and style guide's a really good version of that, where it's like you can just capture the things that you consider professional, and you can have samples of professional pieces of writing that you have, whether it's emails or just project documents or whatever. And then you can start with something that you've actually written, and then when you say rewrite this in a professional tone, you can reference your style guide. So what you can do if you have style guides in your Google Drive, you can click add from Drive and then add them here. Now this becomes one of your sources. And if I have something selected here, like I have this executive summary selected, and then I have the style guide, I can just go on here and I can click to match the writing style. And then whatever things I have in the writing style guide, it'll reference those things. So if I have, for example, make things concise, rate them at a third grade level, always add a joke at the end, like whatever I want in the style guide. Don't use M dashes, or use M dashes everywhere. Use a ton of emojis, whatever it is. I can have that in the style guide, and then I can just match the writing style, and it'll reference this source and then change this paragraph based off of that. That can be really useful if you use style guides. Less useful, I think, you can just rephrase. There's not really, I mean, you can prompt it for what you want, but again, if you don't have a document to reference, it ends up, to me, not being very useful. And then if you click on more, you can just do some of the basic or common, I don't know, AI chatbot things. You can shorten it, you can elaborate, you can make it more formal, you can bulletize, you can summarize. So all those things are in there. And besides selecting whichever sources you want, so I'll clear that now because I don't really need this in here, I can actually choose which sources I want to search if I want to search something. So if I click on the little information bubble here, this will select where Gemini can actively search for relevant information. I can choose Drive, Gmail, Chat, or Web, and then I can put in whatever prompt, and it'll only use whichever sources I set here for it to search from. Again, that's similar. It's actually the same on what you could have done before. And then the other things I can do if I don't have anything selected, and I just hover over this, if you see the text in the middle will change every, I don't know, 5 seconds. So like make this doc more, and then it just had a couple of other ones. And if, let's say I want to fix errors in this doc, so I click on it and then I tab, now this is actually something I can edit, and then I can just either keep it as is, or I can add more. So I can just type whatever I want and then send that as a prompt, and it'll go through and, in this case, fix the errors in the document. And maybe that's useful, maybe it's not. The only other things, I can put this over to the side panel, which this is the same view that was here before. If I just click this Ask Gemini up here. So, I mean, so that's what this bottom bar can do. For me, it's a little bit, it's too much Gemini. And it's like, I get that they're testing everything and it's a beta thing, so it might not last. But it's like, if I go into Docs, it's like I have a Gemini menu here. I have the Ask Gemini side panel that was here before. If I select something and just do nothing else, this little refine comes up, which that's the Gemini. If I highlight something and I do Control G, that's Gemini. There's a lot of Gemini in here, and it can be useful, but I think for me, this has gotten to the point of being excessive. So like, I don't need a bottom bar that's just here all the time. So if you're in that same boat, and I'm not saying don't use it, like if it's useful for you, absolutely use it. If you're on the other side of that and you're just like, I don't need more Gemini here, what I will normally do is come in here and go into the Gemini menu, and then there's a bottom bar preferences option here, and you can either minimize or you can actually turn this off. I turn it off because, again, I can very easily just click this if I need to use it. And even if I use the sidebar and I want on the bottom, I can just click this and now it just goes right to bottom bar. So, I mean, I don't really know. I don't like having it on all the time. It clutters the space here, but Know that this is one of the, I think, rare things that Google actually lets you turn off. I don't know that it's going to stay that way, but you do have the option to keep it minimized, which looks like this. If you're not hovered over it, as soon as you hover, it opens up, or you can actually turn it off. But yeah, I mean, so the bottom bar, it is just another interface to use Gemini for stuff, whether you have a new tab and you want to actually set things up, or you have an existing tab where you want to edit something that's in here, reference another document, search for something, send whatever prompt you would normally send within Google Docs. Hope that answers your question, and see you next time.